Hey everyone, what you see right here is what you've been used to seeing in the moving industry, and what I'm about to show you is something that is crazy different than what you're used to, but gives you real good information about the state of the moving industry, how it compares to the 2008 recession, and what you can do about it to win. Hi, my name is Travis Weathers. I'm with RotateDigital.com, and I want to show you some really interesting insights here about the moving industry. Here is something called trends.google.com, and I typed in moving companies near me as a search term. And what that does is it brings up all the searches involving and revolving around moving companies or movers near me. And this graph shows you the interest over time. And to give you an understanding of this, before we jump into the deep details here, 100, when you come over here, 100 is the peak, whether it was 5 people or 5 billion people searching it. If that was the most amount of people searching, you would get 100. And then relative to that number, you get all the numbers. In fact, this is what we've been used to over 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. And you can see at the peak of 2021, we had 100. That was the most moving company terms have been searched. And so when you hear this and want to talk about this, this is the idea of a pinpoint of looking at what the industry looks like at that moment. There are tons of people in July of 2021. The most amount of people were searching for moving companies to move their home. In comparison to the slow season and the depths of December in 2019, we had 29, which is 29% of that 100. And this is what we have been used to in the moving industry. Since 2018, we've had our normal year of a normal cyclical year. And a normal cyclical year is in the winter season, you have the lowest demand for the moving industry. And in the summer season, you have the highest demand. And so again, you have the lowest demand here in the January, February time in 2018. And the highest demand was over here, about 50% of what it was in 2021. And so you can see the cyclical nature of the moving industry. But as COVID hits, just like most people experienced, the moving industry started thriving. And we had the most moves ever recorded during this, or we had the most move trends recorded in 2019, then with the drop. And then in 2020, we had the rise from COVID. Actually, excuse me, this is the rise from COVID. You had the rise of COVID in 2020, and you had 75% of its max, which was in 2021, that we didn't know about. But look at the down. Look at when it was December time, right? The December time in 2020 was almost the peak season for summer of 2018. And so in 2020, life was good when you were a moving company owner. Life was good. And business was easy. And then 2021 hit. And you had this massive peak that the summer of 2021 was the most amount of people wanting to look for a moving company. And then we had the fall. And the fall ended up being in 2021 down to the bottom, which was no problem. We're going into 2022. Well, here is something that is unbelievably crazy. And I want to share this with you. If you look at the past 5 years, you can see what has happened. In 2018, you had the peak, and then you had the downfall. And then in 2019, you had the peak. And in 2019 here, you had this peak into 2020, okay, where things were going real well, and there was really no drop off. And then you hit the peak in 2021. Then you had this down market, or you had the seasonal event down in 2021 in December. And then look at 2022. 2022 kind of went up again in the normal cyclical pattern, and then had fallen off into December time. So at this time, I created a video that says, hey, things aren't looking good. And I'm going to link to the video in here and you can watch that. But what happened in December is we were supposed to experience this rise back up. That's what we're used to. That's what should have happened. That's what normally happens. And you can see that nothing extraordinary happened. Our peak season in 2023 of this year was the peak season in terms of relative search terms, was almost the bottom of the slow season in 2021. That's how drastically different the market changed. And then you can see we hit our peak right about here, in June of 2023, and it's descended down into October, and here we are in November at the lowest. But here is what's unreal right now. Here's what's crazy. I want you to see what this looks like in comparison. Ready for this? In comparison to the 2008 market crash. Watch this. We're going to go to full recording here. Moving companies near me. Okay. You have, and actually we're going to go moving companies because the near me wasn't a term because Google Maps wasn't really out around the time, but the idea of searching for moving companies. Here's the normal cyclical event that we were used to. Okay. Again, right before, as we were leading up to the crash, you had the extreme amounts. In fact, in 2004, we had more people searching for movers than in 2022. But look at this. Our peak this year in 2023 was right here in comparison to the last, 20 years. It was right here on the very far right of the screen. This was our peak. When you compare that to 2008, 2008 was right here. Look at the peak in the summer of 2008 and in the summer of 2009. We were below the line in 2023. And so if you're sitting here as a moving company owner and you're going, man, this feels like it's hard. The reality is, it's because it is. The industry is worse than it's been since 2008. The lowest amount of people are searching for moving companies. That is scary and crazy stuff. But I want to transition your mindset to stop thinking about how bad it is and think about the opportunities. Here at Rotate Digital, we've already had like 5, 6, or 7 clients of ours alone go out of business. And that is a small snapshot of what's happening across the United States. And so today you have a very unique opportunity that there are businesses all around the United States and Canada that are going out of business. And you have the opportunity to capitalize on the market that they no longer will share with you. That's exciting news. You no longer will need to compete with them because they are going out of business. If you can run your company leaner than your competitors, if you can be seen more than your competitors, if you can get visible when your competitors are dropping off the industry and dropping off in your local area, you can become the dominant moving company in your city. And when you become the dominant moving company in your city, you become the go-to moving company. And you have the opportunity over these next few years to win and compete and win over your competitors when it comes to visibility, when it comes to who they're going to move with. You have a very unique opportunity. Nowhere in the time of history has it ever been an open market for you to win and grow your moving business. So if you're sitting here today, some takeaways: lean up your company to get ready for what could come. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but it doesn't look good. Lean up your company and run a good company. Know your numbers. We've got plenty of people in the space that can help you with your numbers. And if you need a referral, just put in the comments here. Know your numbers. Lean up your company and start leaning into becoming the most visible company in your city, whether that's through SEO or PPC, or whether that's through networking, meeting up with realtors, meeting up in networking groups, putting signs in your local area. Now is the time to capitalize on when everybody in the moving industry is pulling back. They're pulling back their marketing spend. They're pulling back their efforts. They're trying to just survive. You have the opportunity to lean in, become a great company, and win in your competitors, win in your market, be the known company, get into the networking groups, find your niches that you need to get into and lean into that so that people start using your company over the next few years while other companies are going out. If you have any questions on this, if you want me to look into other stats, if you have any questions on, well, what does this mean? Or can you look up this? Just put in the comments. I'm happy to address that. Anyway, thanks.